or happening, I should say. It's part of that creation continuum that keeps unfolding, right? Around my own personal true choices. That choice to live in the desires of my heart is really coming to fruition. It's amazing. It keeps showing up over and over and over again. Wow. I know that I know that I know. And there's more mystery to be discovered.
Mm-hmm.
There's always more.
That's why I say yes and keeps it going.
Yeah, totally.
Just the word yes has tension built into it. All words do. And my joy is helping people find that in themselves.
Hmm. What's interesting is I'm creating a practice around that.
Mm-hmm.
Around guiding people into their own heart space. And exploring what's there.
Mm-hmm.
Discovering what's been hidden for a long time. Well, thank you guys. This is really moving me right now, like really, really deeply at this point. Oh my.
I think I was reminded that germinate is the first step of creation. I mentioned it was the second, where assimilate is, I believe, the second step. Is that, do I hold that correct? Is that what the information we've been shared? I just try to want to be
Yes,
consistent. Thank you.
yes,
Yeah, you were most
yes.
recent to it. Thank you.
Mhm.
And the third is
Repeat that
complete.
again. I missed that. I missed the
It's
first two.
germination, stimulation, and completion.
Three stages of creation. And that people tend to get stuck in one or the other depending on their pattern.
Hmm.
Mine is, I'll love to come up with great ideas. I hate to follow, like the follow through of the details, if you will, like bringing it together. No, once a project starts and gets going, I'm done with it. Someone else can continue it, that's mine. So it's like, oh, so my real passion is always in the assimilation of it. And my partner likes to germinate them. I think, I don't know, but that's what he does. I don't know if he likes it.
Hmm.
Sounds like a good partnership.
Yeah, very much so. Very, very strong.
Can be, yeah.
Very strong.
Yeah.
But it is like where it's strong, it can also be very slow.
Correct. Yeah.
Necessary, yes, but there's timing again. And that's where creating together, understanding the mechanisms, not taking everything personal is out of the way so that we can lay out our truths together. Otherwise, we get frustrated.
But frustration is also part of it. I also used to think when I used to get frustrated with things, I start looking at more like that. Now it's more like it's a process. It's good to be frustrated. You're learning.
Well, frustration is a creative tension, right?
Yeah, correct.
It's a tension that shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I used to think it was a negative thing. Now I think it's a positive thing. When it comes to me, I go,
Yeah.
okay, what do I need to learn here? And how much space do I need to give myself? Because it's endless. It's now that used to it's really interesting.
Yeah. Sometimes your creation needs tension.
Always. Creation cannot work without tension. Now, tension, I can say tension can be both resistance and flow, momentum. but it can't be one at the same time. Otherwise you're stuck.
Yeah, there's different degrees of tension as well.
Different directions. Yeah. Energies. Yep. All sorts of
Yeah.
different ways we could look at it.
But
It's an
sometimes
energy.
it's strong and sometimes it's subtle.
Well, my
Yeah.
word of the day is mindful.
Whoa.
Hey,
Boom.
Mindful, mysterious action. Now
Yes!
that is
Yes!
genius right there.
I'm jumping.
Oh, wow.
I'm jumping it. I'm jumping it out.
Oh, Nikki,
I'm
you're on it
shaking
today,
it.
baby.
Oh, I'm shaking my booty.
Are you on your head this morning?
That was 30 minutes ago while you
Oh,
guys
okay.
were talking. I was
Okay.
listening upside down.
Of course she was.
Oh, I just got the first step. The first step is an abstraction. It's a concept, but an abstract one.
Mhm. This is how we experience it, right? We go deeper, we explore it. It's curiosity. It's like, oh, well, teach me about that, Craig. I'd love to hear. What does abstraction mean to you? I don't even know what it means for me.
It's kind of like an inspiration that hits you. Seems to come from nowhere. It's a spark.
A germination.
Yep. It's the sperm penetrating the egg. Or is it penetrating? No, it's not penetrated yet.
No, that's still the
It's the initial
possibilities.
encounter. It's the
Yeah.
initial encounter. It's
Eureka moment.
yeah, it's masculine energy coming into contact with feminine energy. It's the yin and the yang meeting. It's electromagnetic. It's the positive and the negative charge becoming neutral. Oh my.
And you'll notice along the way we have a germination, assimilation, and a completion. So quick, right? And even though they're just little paths, it's like whoop, boom, there's a brick that builds another journey, another experience,
Yeah.
another learning.
Yeah.
And
and they overlap too.
Yeah, they do.
Those processes overlap. Yeah. 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 You could call it initiation, maybe.
Clear about the spark, that is for sure. That definitely draws it, because that is the key, is that first moment.
Or in space terminology, they would have called it ignition.
Mhm.
T minus
Igniting
10.
Nick, yeah, igniting Nikki's word of mysterious action. I forgot her word already, Nikki. I apologize. Greg, do you recall what her word was?
Um, oh my goodness.
You see how much effort we're putting into it.
Yeah, that's probably why I can't remember it.
I know, me too.
That
Exactly
thought
what
just
you
hit me.
said, right?
I meant I'm just focusing to try to my memory, but it wasn't my memory that it wasn't my memory. It wasn't my cognition that took it in.
Mhm,
It was another part of me that took it in. So it's not
mhm.
in my short-term memory. And very interesting, actually.
Oh, I mean, and I was judging myself for should have knowing, for not listening, right? And it's like, but
Yeah,
it's no big.
yeah.
It doesn't have to be. It
No, I
could be
listened to
just a
it and I
demonstration.
listened to it. I heard it too. Right. So, I mean, even just talking about this is really fascinating to me too. It was
So,
integrated
yeah,
into the it was integrated into the space, right?
to be revealed at the perfect time.
Yeah, yeah. Wow.
That is what I am aware that these calls do for me. I get to practice just the truth, my truth, this in the morning. That's my 2 hours, and that's how I choose
Yeah.
to start it.
That's a reassurance to me too, because I'm realizing that I'm processing and integrating this stuff, but it's not my cognition ability that's doing it. There's another part of me that's actually doing it, that's integrating it. Wow. Mm.
And then a lot of us forget about the completion step. Yeah, I did that, right? It'd be like, there it is, complete. Now what's next? And so there's always a pattern that will follow a default pattern, no matter where we're at in the creations. The steps from the spark of germination, yeah, the assimilation, putting it together, waiting for it, looking for it, and then seeing it as the completion. And then it's like at that point, it's like, wow, then there's relaxing. Because then it's like waiting for the next spark.
Hmm. I'm really glad we're talking about this today.
If you weren't on, we wouldn't have.
I
But you were, and it's like, oh, it's like, yeah, of course, obvious that it's like a strong subject for us to be in conversation with.
yeah, it is. You know, I'm feeling a real I got a strange sensation around the idea of completion. Around the concept of completion and
Mhm.
yeah, what I'm coming to realize is that that part of it is not my thing.
Acknowledging it in others, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sensing that it's mine to do the first 3 steps and then to pass the baton.
Yeah.
To others. Like, yeah. To others who have the energy to complete.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not mine. It's not mine to complete. Wow. Wow, this is big. Because you know, the concept of completion
Mm-hmm.
is a life theme for me, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And that's around the fight or flight response.
Yes, it is.
That terror I experienced when I was 2 years old never came to completion until last summer. So I carried that around for over 60 years. And the truth is I needed help to come to completion, to bring that to completion. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And so that's what's coming out in this conversation today.
Mhm.
Is that it's not mine to complete. But it is mine to initiate. It is mine to vision, to dream, to conceptualize, to gestate, to assimilate. And my involvement kind of falls off. Like it becomes less and less and less the closer you get towards completion.
Yes.
Okay, what's really interesting is, and here's like a life example. In the early 90s, I conceptualized a virtual classroom where you had a teacher and students, and all of them could see each other. They could be anywhere in the world and all that kind of thing. And that was over 30 years ago. And here we are using it. And I never completed that. But I've been gestating on it for over 30 years, and here it is.
Mhm.
And I wasn't the one that completed it. So this is amusing. It's just hilarious.
Mysterious and amazing, huh? Mysteriously amazing
Yeah, totally.
creation is, and that's our problem when we're trying to shape it or expect it or mold it our way, and it's saying, no, I can't go there. That's not the best way. But no one's telling you that, right? That's just nature. That's the flow. That is the creation that is already going.
Well, there's another thing I realized too, is that once a creation is initiated, it continues unto infinity, like it's a continuum. A creation of something is a continuum. We talked about that a few days ago. Like the creation story in Genesis is let there be light, and there's still light, and there will continue to be light forevermore. But it started somewhere.
And I wonder if there was a bang when it happened.
Yeah. Or I gotta wonder if it was something much more subtle, like a spark.
Yeah, no, with something a whole lot less dramatic.
Well, totally. Yeah.
There's something so much simpler. There's no way we could come from that.
Right. But our experience tells us it's more than likely more like a spark than a bang.
Mm-hmm.
or more like a word.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
beginning was the word, right?
Mm.
You know, and let there be light was spoken, right? So it's like, yeah. So it's like yeah, it's an impulse. It's yeah. So when we open up these things and we ask people for a word, it's like, what impulse do you bring? What spark do you bring today?
Mhm. Mhm. Truth of now. The truth of now. Just that's what they bring, is the truth of now. And we work to allow that.
Yeah.
We create space to allow it for people to find their truth, speak their truth, be their truth with it, and share it with others so that they can see what's also possible.
Yeah,
That's
we
the freeing.
combine our nows with each other.
Because we already are, right? Just not gathering that way with intention or focus. Distracted.
Yeah, our only intention is to be present
Yeah.
with each other.
Mhm.
You ever been in a business meeting like this where the only intention was to be present?
I have now. Yeah, I have.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it's a totally new paradigm, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Total respect for, we invite a bunch of creators to get together and we be present with each other, and that combination of energy and intention creates something. And what's interesting to me is that's always enough. You know, every day you've opened this room, Jesse, there's always been enough. There's always been more than enough.
Mhm.
That's mysterious and magical at the same time. And look at the growth that's happened. You know, look at the learning that has occurred. Just by being present with a number of people, a number of creators, and respecting them as creators for an hour or so every day. That's so revolutionary, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. And simple.
Yeah,
and easy.
yeah,
And silly.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Absurd. And true.
There's always the truth, and true, always true. But it's only found here, now, in that moment.
Yeah. 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 Wow, this book is good.
Huh. You're in it? Yeah.
I don't know if you guys realize it, but this is how this book is getting written. It's just, and
Yeah.
being in this space with other people, having interchange and in play, and it's all
Mhm.
here. And yeah, and I just, wow, it's writing itself.
Through the conduit. I think I lost you, Craig. I did. Writing itself is to acknowledge and celebrate the conduit you are, Craig, that it can write through you because someone has to write it, the action of writing it, and that becomes the experience of the creation. So just to remember in our completions is to celebrate, because that acknowledges the spark, it acknowledges the energy, and it acknowledges the continuation. Let go if we need to, or take it to another space, another area, another level, a new experience.
The app just booted me out for a couple minutes there, so I
Yeah.
missed the last bit.
I knew you were off. I kept it for the recording though, but what I was sharing was the importance of celebrating our completions. That allows us to, in that space, and add a new space for something new.
That's that's a lesson for me too, actually, is because I understand creation as something that never ends.
Mhm.
But you can celebrate milestones or major learnings or major awarenesses of growth or change,
Yes.
that kind of stuff. You need
It adds the flywheel. It's the flywheel effect. You can add it to people's creations. When you acknowledge it with other people's created, you're giving them a huge spin.
right. Right.
What else would a leader do?
Yeah, it's a stop and acknowledge. So I'm glad we're doing that. I'm glad we're doing that today. So it's over 90 days, right?
98.
Yeah. Wow. So just just acknowledging what has occurred is very valuable. Like, I'm really sensing that I'm ready to take this to I'm ready to take this to other people, and and create a practice or some kind of formal thing to to take it to other people, get other people, introduce them to this experience. so I acknowledge readiness. And what's interesting is I don't feel a pressure to define it or collapse it.
No, that's great. That is a great place to be, because then the breakthroughs happen.
Yep.
That was a good degree of tingle. So that means you're in my body. So I know that's true.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I want to acknowledge the confidence that comes from that too.
For sure. Well, it's just better together. Better to gather than be alone.
Yeah, totally.
Because I think still, well, I don't know, man, I don't know. Here's my beef. My beef with it is people say, oh, I'm with God, I'm not alone. It's like, yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
So me and my son,
I got the same beef. So.
My beef is, and it said, well, it still sounds like you're alone. So me and my son were driving, and a guy yelled out, and I don't have anything against this. This is not the point, but he says, Jesus loves you. And it was like, I thought about it, and I was like, well, right. I would have stopped and I would have hugged him and said, I love you.
Yeah.
What would have happened? I don't know, but you think about it, it's like, why are we removing ourselves?
Yeah.
Why are we removing ourselves with others? It's like we want to put something in between us. Why?
Can I share?
Well,
please.
Because, yeah.
Can I share? Yeah.
Go ahead. Yes, please.
Yeah. It's a very important topic that we're talking about now, because the whole separation, that we're not separated. This is number one. Number two, and I'm going to make pointers because this makes it really to the point, is that if you look at your DNA, it actually says infinity, God within you. That means in your body, in you. So this is the whole behavior of expressing divine infinity, in allowing to love one another, in saying, I love you. Most men can't say that to men. I'm talking as the man to man now. They can't say, I love you. They have to say, and I've experienced this, hey, bro, or hey, dog, I love you. Something to this comment. It's not a flow of ease to say to another man, I love you. Because it sounds a little woozy. I don't know, in that sense. So it's that relation of the love that you have for yourself that you can internalize and then give it out, because that is the love of God. That is his expression. That is who you are. This is where we're coming home to. We're coming home to the fact that we are loved. And even if romantically, we talk about romance, it's only been 800 years ago that we've gone into this whole romance, love in a sense of relationship with either partners, right? So this is where self-love comes into it. Because you are one with God. We are one. We are God in a human form. Until you get that concept, then that's when we can go into our higher superconscious of always knowing that we can't always be there, but we can also allow ourselves to be aware, be mindful.
Mindful. Yes.
That's what it was.
That was the word.
Yeah, that's my word for the day. And it's really exciting because more and more you see men becoming more in a like a not vulnerable, but into the true source of who they really are. Men don't cry, that kind of thing. It's nonsense.
Yeah, it is nonsense.
The more I'm related to more than I see, and I'm so grateful, I'm so grateful for this awareness. And I can see that now. So I can stay, I can just be.
Yeah. Well,
And I can
Nikki,
also say, I love you. I can also say, I love you, not needing to be romantic either, because people get it twisted. Just because you can love somebody, that's my nature. People are uncomfortable with that. That's okay. But it's for me to express that because I'm giving it to myself too. And so when I say to somebody, I love you, I really mean that. I don't just say I love you for, like people you want to say, oh, and I love the conversation we said the other day about perception of what is different various of love, of course. And then I'm very aware. I don't say I love my coffee, I love this, because then you can abuse and use and it doesn't mean anything. But when I say what I say, my word has meaning, it has weight. I when I say to somebody, I love you, I mean that. I love you. I really do. And when somebody's in my circle, my inner circle, goes, yeah, that means even more so that they're my thoughts. They're in my, they're with. It's that you can be wherever you are in the world. Doesn't mean that you have to be physically with me. I think that's what makes it so meaningful. And it's just more enjoyable, obviously, to be with somebody on a physical level. But even here, energetically, on the phone, telepathically, it's beautifully expressive. Do you understand?
I sure do.
yes.
Yeah. So this is where everything becomes more, of a flow.
Thank you. So well articulated. I'll say I firsthand experience of that, meaning like as a man to tell another man I love him, but I've done it, and yes, it was awkward I'm sure much more awkward for them than for me.
Well,
because
yeah, it's
I did
awkward
it
on
in
both ends. Yeah.
I did it on a professional level too, not nothing that it would damage anything, but with my business partner, I told him that. Oh,
Wow.
and he clam his nuts up.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
But again, part of it is like I did it to see my resistance to it.
Right.
That's all for the information. There was no lie. There was no judge. It was just the truth of the moment. But I also know probably experience
Good.
they won't forget. An experience they won't forget. I like those. I like to be a part of those.
And I like that, JC. I like that because that's what people need. They need to have that experience, just like you spoke with this topic the other day before with Craig and you. People need to experience it because they don't know what love is. We don't even, love is so much depth. There's so much layers with love. And like Craig said the other day, it wasn't shown. So this is about something that we really have to embrace within ourselves. And it's so encouraging to get to a place where you can express it and just be with that, And if you don't mind me saying, for myself, it's self-love talk. self-love talk,
Yes.
because it starts with me. And so with that, I can then demonstrate, because I'm not trying to fake it. I'm not trying to pretend. I'm being real.
Yeah, I got to a place in my life where I came to believe that I didn't have the capacity to love myself.
And this is why these conversations provoke and bring so much awareness up to the surface. And we can look back and we can go, wow, listen to that, you know? And I just want to say to you, Craig, for you to hold on to that. My goodness. And it's not just you that holds on. People hold on for years and years and years in their body and create so much pain and discomfort. They wonder why their back is out and they have problems, you know? It's all because of that. And to let it out and release it now, it's just a beautiful, I'm so happy I can experience this with you and be here with you in the space. And Jesse, I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of depth. Beautiful.
In that, I hear Nikki honoring Craig's completion of Craig's that he may not have noticed, but he did. He's like, oh, he
You did.
acknowledged it. But sometimes we don't acknowledge it, and when we do, it's like, oh, I can see it that way. Yes.
Yes.
Beautiful. It's so beautiful. And that's a real completion, hey? That's
And
complete.
it has the same effect as a recode.
Yeah. When you examine a core belief that you've
Yes.
had.
Yes. Tag and treat that, my dear. Tag and treat that. Woohoo.
Yeah, it's another takeaway from the 5-day too for me is that the recode is much deeper than Chris teaches it. Much deeper, and it works on many other levels outside of our awareness.
I think it's more, I agree with that, because yeah, of course it's a wonderful tool to have and it's important, but it is the information that you say to the brain, and it's the information that you give yourself the education to know, as Jesse said, the truth, your truth. Because in the end, we all have a various of truth, right? But when we get to our knowing that we can release the truth, it will set you free. So yeah.
It makes me cringe. It makes me cringe when it's treated like another modality.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very powerful. I mean, there's no question about it. I mean, it's
like somebody will say in the middle of a conversation, they say, "Oh, I think I need to recode that," and I'm going like, "What are you talking about?" Like, like we're actually examining this right now.
Right.
And you think you need a process to work on it? Like, it to me, that's so absurd.
That's right. That's right. Because a lot of people feel that they need to fix it, you know? And that's the thing with coming with Recode. It's a great, but it's when I had experience that I was dealing with another person that needed to have a Recode every single session, every single time. And we gathered, it was Recode. And I go, no, because that's a reliability. It's leaning on as a crutch, and it's
Right,
you have
exactly.
power. You have the power within yourself. I mean, we are unpacking right now as we speak. We unpack now. There's so much information that I'm still processing, and I will continue processing for the rest of the day
Exactly.
because it's powerful. This is renewing of your mind
Yes. It's a renewing of everything.
and the renewing of your heart.
Yes.
This is it. this is really what it is all about. And we can ground this, we can put it into practice as we ground it. And that's grounding it into the metrics, grounding it, boom, and let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
So good. So I'm reading Allison got me the man who tapped the secrets of the universe, Glenn Clark.
Yes.
And he is writing about the guy that found the H bomb, the hydrogen bomb.
Oh, wow.
And he did all sorts of other things. Like the book is about creating. I mean, it is about how
Yes.
to a powerful creator. And it says Mr. Russell is his name, Walter Russell.
Yes.
Explain that when he uses the words thought, energy, he means the power we use to record the thought in form.
Yes.
But the energy is not the thought.
Correct.
Likewise, thought waves refer to the principle by means of which thought is recorded in light. But again, the waves are not the thought. Thought forms has reference to the product in forms which constitute this objective universe.
Yes.
The thought itself is never created. Wow. I mean,
Wow.
that thing is rich. That thing is rich.
That is picking amazing right there.
He talks about how he went to IBM and said, IBM, you have to change. He says, business is going in the wrong direction, and this is what we need to do for business. Oh my God. And the whole premise of this book is he's in 1950 or whatever, he's saying like, we are coming to the end of our humanity's experience of greed. We're still in the transition.
Yeah, totally.
But not for long. Yeah, I mean, it's so fast.
Yeah. Well, it's speeding up like crazy.
Yeah, it was funny. We were talking about it yesterday, right? Where like all the information's there. And
Yep.
it was like, I mean, everything that they said in this book, it was like, I know, right? It's like but I couldn't speak it the way they were doing. And there's things that I don't know everything about in here at all. I mean, this book is so deep. It's like, I got to go deeper with it. But it was like, all of it was like, I've heard it before, right? It's like, yes, that's what I've been working. That's what I've been called to. And it just adds color, clarity, and refinement to our own processes, our own thinking, our own experiences.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There was there was a real treasure trove of stuff that was written right around the turn of into the 20th century, like the early 1900s. And that's a really good example of it. There's a number of people that wrote then, like if you ever read Florence Scovel Shinn, very, very interesting stuff that she wrote. And she was just a crazy lady that had a typewriter, you know what I mean? And just banged out a few things, and just amazing stuff. Like she talked about, she does one book was The Magic of Intuition. And she wrote that in about 1920 or something like that. And she also wrote The Game of Life and How to Play It. You know, and when you think of even titles like that, you go like, holy crap, that was 100 years ago.
Well, what I love about these is when I can look back and imagine what it had to be like then for them to be saying and projecting to the future to say, this is where I see it going, and places where it's like, we're in that.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, oh, like, and so you almost can go back and see, like, where did the thought, right? Where did the thought process begin or change or deviate? I did that when I read Paul Getty's biography as well. There was so much of that good stuff in it when he was talking about how business is becoming more driven by the profits, you know, the greed rather than it for being to help people, because that was what business was, come together to help people do better in life.
Right. Well, and he was an oil pioneer, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was right around here in the LA. Yep. Became one of the richest families, you know, and you know, and he was adamant at the time in the 60s to say, like, no, we need to give people good jobs, we need to pay them well, and he took he had loyal employees.
Yeah. So what happened to that wisdom over the years? Kind of makes you scratch your head and wonder, doesn't it?
And Industrial Revolution 3 squeezes out all the efficiencies.
Yeah.
And what are efficiencies? Efficiencies are profits.
At the expense of who?
Yeah, well, everything. But ultimately, it all comes down to the people, every other human.
Yeah.
And that is the transition, right? Is coming aware of all the damage that we've caused at the profits, at the cost of everyone. And the oil industry is at the front edge of this, as you know, providing to the market what the market wanted.
Right. And providing to the bottom line what the bottom line wanted.
Yeah, the balance between them, right? You always got that damn balance, and so now we're way out of skew, and that's what happens as things mature. You get out of skew.
Right. All we're left with is consumers.
Yeah.
Mindless consumers.
Mm-hmm. Not mindful, that's for sure. It's because a mindful consumer is an investor.
Right, exactly.
Not a consumer. And the difference is you consume once, an investor invests and reaps for over and over. Which one is a problem solving and which one is a creator?
Yeah, exactly.
So fascinating. History, choices, the future, and only looking at it from a roadmap, like how we got there. I can see that. Wow. Because when I can see that, then it's like, oh, we can say, oh, not that. We don't want that. So how would we do it?
I think that's why we've experienced all this dark energy throughout our lives up to this point, is so that we really, really know what we don't want.
Mm-hmm.
And we can recognize it. Because we've experienced that in a number of different ways.
Survival has been extremely difficult.
Yes. Well, and it's gotten more difficult, actually.
Mm-hmm. In a way, and it's always getting better. So it's like us letting go of that need to survive and trust to the future with one another, you know. it comes to peace. I mean, at the end of it, when we're there, like, how will I know we're there? It's like there's peace through humans.
Yes.
And that sounds very big and very time consuming if we look back at measure the same amount of progress from the past as we did to the future. But exponentially, you can't do that. Only linearly.
Right, exactly.
So
That's why it's important to be selective about how you measure.
mm.
Like,
And
do you
what
measure
you
according
measure.
to linear measures, or do you measure according to conceptual or abstract measures?
Mhm. Or and which one would you want to create it with?
Yeah,
I-
exactly.
I always like exponential, man. Exponential or logarithmic. It like really amplify that baby. Triple it, cube it,
Yeah,
logarithmic it. But that's
that's why I
just me
like
and math.
Fibonacci, because it keeps
Yeah,
approaching. It keeps approaching infinity, right?
I love it too. It is the largest, which is a creator. It is the
Yeah.
biggest amplification.
Yeah, but it starts out so painfully slow.
So painfully slow. Like with a zero.
Yeah, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, like that spark, and you have a one.
Yeah.
And then another one. And then a double. Then you double it. Then you double it and go to two.
Exactly. How does a sperm and an egg become a few trillion cells?
In no time at all.
Well, yeah, very quickly. But it starts out really painfully slow.
Everything we have does, right? Just think of all of our creations. It was nothing for a long time, and then it was one, and then two, and then three, and then five. Yes. And about that, like where do we really, like, after 30 is really where I see it.
Yeah. That's like the guy who wants to get paid in pennies on a chessboard or on a checkerboard. So the first day there's 1 penny, and the second day there's 2, and you keep doubling it all the way along. 64 days, you need a few Mack trucks. So I've been exploring the whole compensation thing with Joe, and I just told him, I said from this point on in my life, all I want to ever be paid is a tithe.
Yeah.
Is a percentage of growth.
Yep.
Or a percentage of revenue.
No, it's a promise, right? I mean, I promise to deliver this for you, and when I do, you compensate me.
exactly.
No big deal. It's a performance.
Yep.
It's an
And I believe in
outcome.
it
It's a
enough
result.
to put that on the table,
Yeah.
right? We just
Yes.
share in your success,
Yes.
right? Because we create it together.
It invites passion, and I will always invest in passion.
Yep, me too.
To get there is a bear. I'm working it with my, as I say, I'm creating a new entity that is based on that. And I have old entities that I'm trying to integrate together.
Yeah.
And we have to draw a line in the sand at some point because they're two separates, unless we're going to merge them, which we might in the future, but we're not ready to say we are.
Right.
But it's still today, we have to draw a line in the sand so that we know, because there is this division. Let's create the divide so that we can work together on it. The same thing, it's in that compensation. It's like, oh, well, if you're working with someone that's in scarcity and lack, and you're telling them you're going to give them everything that they think they have plus more, how do we do it? And then you can't, they just still can't let go of that lack.
Right.
And it's like, it's bumping up to it. It's like, you're limiting what I can do, which means you're limiting the upside potential, even though I've already carved this out and said, if we hit it, you're guaranteed to have it.
Right.
50 million. If you think we can do it. Yeah. And so when we get it, we're guaranteed that anyway.
Yeah.
That is what you said is our best plan to the future. And it's like, so if we get that, then it's like, yes, we either did it ourselves or this other organization helped us do that. And what I'm saying is this other organization is going to help us get us there Fibonacci fast, like in 30 days, where you think it will take, you don't even think it's possible.
Right. Exactly. And that's the biggest hurdle right there.
Yes.
Is not thinking it's possible.
Yep. And then in that is the strategy that you're thinking that someone else is thinking I should work inside of. And my passion is saying, no, my passion is like, no, you've got to, I see it working this way. We have to be ready. Well, it's never worked like that before. It's like, I know.
Yeah. But has it ever worked before? Has anything ever worked before, really?
Well, yeah. Depends on who you ask, right?
Well, you run
ask a
you run
creator.
into a limit. Whatever happens, you run into a limit, right?
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Unless you create it this way.
This way, like there's a limit, but the customer is not going to be pushed. Like I'm going to have to draw my limit. Like that's too much to take on.
Yeah.
Is the story. That's the offer. That's the promise that's there. And he's saying like, nope, they don't want to hear that promise yet. And he's saying, I don't understand that promise perfectly. Those are two different things.
Yeah. Rejecting something because you can't grasp an understanding of it. Mm-hmm. That happens very, very often.
Greenhouse gas emissions is a great example of it.
Yeah.
And as soon as I share this one time, it's a tsunami that's gonna roll through that whole place, and it's gonna make a huge shift.
Yeah.
And once it's out of the bag, if it's not me, someone else is gonna let it out of the bag, and we're gonna lose the first mover opportunity.
Yeah.
Because it's not very hard math. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not very hard to put that and that together and be like, oh, now having the solution is what's hard, and we've already got that. So that, yes, that is what we get compensated for.
Yeah.
But the narrative, the story of this offer is completely different because it it triples what we ever thought was possible. Triples what we thought was ever possible.
Yeah.
So how do I compensate someone that gave us that opportunity, gave us that idea that we can execute on to a certain level?
Yeah, good question.
Well, I know, it's like, I know what our capability was before. 50 million. That was like what we thought we could do. That's all we wanted to do. And if everything stayed the same, that we would be completely happy with that and say yes. And so it's like, fine, 50 million is our number then. And then it's like, okay, so anything above that is what was contributed by this other entity. So everything above that, now we have a structure that we split. Does that sound fair? And it's not like my partner or any of us are cut out in that next entity. It's like we're all equal, but we bring in 2 new partners that are going to help us take it out of Bakersfield, right? Oh, we're going to go worldwide with that level. And it's like, you're a part of that too. It's like, I don't understand why this doesn't work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where's the no in this?
Well, sometimes people just can't see that kind of a vision, like it's a perception thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's resistance. It's resistance is all it is. What I don't know what to do is with people's resistance that don't want me to help them through their resistance.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only thing I can give them is choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we become conductors of choices. Mindful conductors of choices of mysterious action.
Yes.
Sound like a movie coming to your theater near you.
Yeah. 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 It probably is. It's in the works already.
Wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I have no doubt. I have no doubt that that this stuff that we're working on will it'll end up showing up in media very, very soon.
That's a strategy I'm thinking about for greenhouse gas too, because that will move it really, really fast too, for my specific. And so I get a conversation with my partner tomorrow. Tomorrow, and we'll be able to discuss that. And that's exactly it's like you think you think I got 2 years to prove this. It's like I think we got 30 days.
Yeah.
And it will take 2 days. It will take 2 years to prove it. But at the end of the day, our customers aren't going to care whether or not we get it or not, because they will make sure they get it. Won't even be my effort. It's their effort. They're going to be so far, make sure they want it, because there is no solution out there.
Yeah. Well, it's no accident that I've been in media for over 40 years either. Because because I got all this, like it's all,
So I think we're good, Craig. So I think we're all getting a little bit of traction behind what we'll do with that.
Oh yeah. All the pieces are coming together. They're all converging.
And so I celebrate how we couldn't force them. If we think back, think back of our journey.
Well, exactly.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are you gonna do with it?
I'm getting pretty good at resisting the impulse to force anything.
Yeah. Drive anything almost. It's a
Yeah.
subtle. It's a very subtle,
Yeah.
especially the more.
I like the fact we don't have to prove anything.
Yeah.
Confidence.
Yeah.
There's no more proving.
Isn't it freeing?
I'd much rather be sucked into the vortex than be driven
Yeah.
to do something.
On the edges, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what I just sense that that's what I'm experiencing, is that I'm being drawn into a vortex
Hmm.
that just wants to expand and maybe even explode.
No, you bet.
The Big Bang comes later.
Oh, for a creator, it always does, man. It always comes later.
Yeah.
And then when people see it, when people then finally recognize it, like it's too late. Not.
Yeah.
Me and them, it's too late when they recognize it if they didn't already say yes. Not a threat, it's just it's like I'm so farther along from that point of view. Without the comparison, just celebrating for when my friends come back again.
Yeah. It's kind of like the Job story in the Bible, right? Is you lose everything, and your friends are telling you to, curse God and die, but you don't, because you see something bigger or whatever, and then everything's returned to you 100 times over once you've gone through that. When you were scratching boils off your skin, it wasn't a lot of fun.
Keeps coming back. Persistence, huh, Nikki? From yesterday, persistence.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think it's exciting to be here, to be awake, and to really get into the creation of why we're here and our purpose, our passion, what drives us. I think this is really very exciting. And it's starting right now. The revolution's right here. We're doing it.
Yeah. Well, exactly.
Together.
We're living it.
Together,
Yeah.
stronger. Yeah. So this is very exciting.
What would we wrap into the present 2 hours? We'd wrap it all into just a few minutes that we would share with everyone else about what today was for us, our learning, our experience, our demonstration. What do we want to leave with those that might listen to this in the future?
Well, I'd say we acknowledged a milestone of completion. And before we acknowledged that, we actually examined kind of how we got here by describing the process of creation.
Mhm.
And then we did we identified that milestone, and then we projected into the future what's coming, and projected our vision there, but also our memory, our future memory there, and realized that it's already established and it's already accomplished in that space. So that's what I got.
Thank you. Great gift.
Yeah, it is a great gift. In fact, it's very profound to realize that we can do what we just did. That we can even do that.
Yeah. Other ways, yes, than just
Yes.
the one way we think.
The other ways are unlimited.
Could, the word could is limitless.
Correct.
Creators of vocabulary. So I loved how we looked at the creative process today. As a creator, as powerful, stepping through it, using our words to experience it, to see it and reflect back. So we became aware of our creations and celebrated them, and then co-created them by sending them out and casting nets into the future, and
Yes.
they overlap and they overlap. And that's how we begin to create the webs, the layers, the interactions, and then they connect together, they fuse together. And so much more energy together than alone.
They cohabit and then they coalesce.
And it's so much fun.
You guys are fun.
You too.
Hey, I also got a new perspective on who I am.
Yes.
And my role in creation, my role in co-creation. And I realized that I'm an initiator. I'm the one that lights the spark. And I'm also a gestator. I'm a place where the spark or the creation gestates in my being.
So I acknowledge, Nikki, I loved where you said, I am now embracing my resistance because it's just information and I'm testing. I look forward to it. I engage with it. And I thought that was just a wonderful, like that landed well with me. So thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Yeah, my resistance is feedback.
Mhm. And Craig, when you had the awareness where you used the words, this is not mine to complete.
Yeah,
But to initiate. It was like, it was just boom. Those
Yeah.
words rang.
yeah, that blows me away. Right now, it's making my heart beat
Mm.
faster. Oh boy.
Then those must be true.
Yeah. Oh, there's a word that's coming up for me right now. It's ownership.
Hmm.
Ownership stifles creation,
Mhm.
or a sense of ownership.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's not mine,
Mhm.
not mine to complete. It's mine to benefit from, but not mine to hold on to.
So good. Well, thank you both. I am complete.
Yeah, I'm complete. Thank you. It was awesome.
It was.
Very enlightening. Very enlightening. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a great day.
I love you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much for
Love
this
you too.
space, all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I love you too.
You too, Craig.
Love you,
Love you.
Jesse.
Love you.
Love you.
That's
Love you,
lovely.
Nikki.
Love you, Craig. Love you, Jesse.
I'm so
All
glad
right.
it was the three of us today. It's been
Yeah.
awesome.
Trinity.
Yep.
Coherence.
Yep.
Heart. Centered. Powerful. Magnificent. Amazing. Charged. Boom.
Yeah.
Go.
All righty then.
Alrighty then. Just enjoy your walk today. Enjoy your walk. Love you. Bye. Bye.
Okay.
Bye, guys. Bye,
Bye.
all. Thank you.